You know how you look at YouTube videos or you talk to your friends and they have moved in their mid 20s or once they left college? But truth is, I wasn't one of those people. I actually moved out when in my early 30s. So if you're still 30 at home and you with your parents and you saving up, there is nothing wrong with that. I would say utilize your parents, still help out at home, but save up that money because once you move out, sometimes it's kind of rough saving up. You never know they're gonna go up on rent or you need to pay for a car repairman. You never know what kind of emergencies that may happen. So it's always good to be prepared, and it's better to have than to go without. Okay, but that's not the point of this video today. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of living downtown Chicago based off of my experience. So, I had jotted a few things down, and this is for anybody who lives downtown in their city or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you can relate to a bit. So, the pros of living downtown is location. Yes, you are near everything. You're near the stores, the hottest restaurants, the nearest hospitals, the nearest vets. Everything is right there. And the good thing is it can be in walking distance. So you're not, using gas or anything like that. Everything is nearby. Number two, you're never bored. You are never bored. When I tell you you are never bored, I promise you you're not. There's always something going on. You can either do salsa class, go to the museum, go to the art museum. You have the stadium, look at the Cubs games, go to the Bears, and you'll meet people who have similar tastes as you because you guys are in the same convention or same sports arena. Like there's always something going on, whether it's a concert. So you are never bored. And you can also stay at home, look at TV because there's nothing wrong with that. Some of us are homebodies, and I'm not gonna lie, I am one of those, but there's always something to do in the city. So that is definitely a pro. So, number three, you'll find a date. Should I say that louder? You'll find a date. And honestly, I'm kind of against finding a date who lives somebody who lives in your building because when you get sick and tired of them, they still live in that building. Not good. But you'll find a date. Like if you go to a convention that's in the city for doctors, you may find a doctor that you guys have things in common. Or if you go to maybe a science convention, you'll find somebody who loves science just like you do. And I think it's really important to, when dating, to have somebody that you have something in common with and to make sure you guys are agreeable with your end goals and how you want to live your life. How you can date somebody and then you realize, you know what, I'm wasting time, but you will find a date. But, it's just so diverse in the city. You'll love it. I promise. All right. Number four, there are wonderful restaurants. You have Giordano's. You have Green Tavern. It's just so many. You have Italy. So many good restaurants, so many good choices, so many diverse kind of food. You can have Ethiopian food, Greek food from Greek Town, Italian food from the little village, Italian ice. You have so many choices, and I'm going to put some of those restaurants down there. So if you come to Chicago, you will have an idea of something you may want to try, because food is not food unless you come to Chicago, okay? Now let's talk about the cons of living in the city. So usually downtown, you're not going to really find houses or anything like that. You might find some townhouses or some homes in Kingsbury, but those are pricey. And I'm talking about maybe like 500,000 on up. But some people live in condos, which are quite pricey. But most of us, we live in apartments. We live in high rise, and it's pricey. Just keeping it real. You can start off with this price and say, hey, I can afford it. But then later on, you know how they be going up on the rent secretly and quietly until you're like, good Lord, my pockets are getting kind of empty. Okay? So the price is super expensive. And it's kind of like you got to cut back on things you love. So if you love those Air Jordans, you got to give them up. If you love those Louis Vuitton bags and Goyards, you're going to have to give it up sometime. You can't have it all the time, but sometimes it's okay. You just got to learn how to have that balance, and you got to learn how to budget well. So it's kind of hard, but we can only try. The second con is parking. Parking sucks. You got those meters that tell on you, and those little meter robo-cops want to write your tickets and stuff. But then you got Uber. But you know, if you have a car and you park in the garage in your apartment or condo, usually you're paying to $300 to $400 to probably $600 a month. So you add that to your rent. So let's say if your rent is like $2,600 plus $300 each month. It's kind of like, dang, I could have used that $300 for something else, a fancy lobster for the store for this week. But now it looks like we might have to go to Aldi's. Not saying Aldi's doesn't have good things, okay? But the parking is pricey. And I know they say use Spot Hero, but $20 for 12 hours or 24 hours, that adds up, okay? Shoot, give me a $20 bill. I make myself a meal from Dollar Store. Third goes along with the car traffic. If you need to get to work and, your work is maybe 20 minutes away and you coming from downtown, you might want to leave maybe an hour because you'll know how traffic is. They might have a festival going on, a convention, a presidential convention, a concert, and you stuck in traffic and you need that job to keep from losing that apartment. You got to make sure you leave super early. But you can use the train. But these days, let's be honest, the red line and blue line been having some things going on. And honestly, I've never really used a train in Chicago, but if that float showboat, do what you gotta do, okay? But I would say be cautious because you never know who's watching you or what's going on in your surroundings. And it's just so important to be safe. The fourth con, it can be a preference. Some people like the noisy sound of the city, the trains, the airplanes flying, people talking, walking, compared to the suburbs that is nice and quiet and you can hear the birds and, there's nobody, no trains going in and out. So those are my pros and cons of living downtown Chicago. And I'm pretty sure if you live downtown somewhere else, you might have some similar pros and cons. But I want to know where you guys live. And do you regret where you live? Do you live in the city and kind of looking towards moving to the suburbs? Or are you just a straight up city person and you're just loving it? I want to know you guys' opinion. But thank you for watching me. And I hope you guys are okay and doing well, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.